When it comes to something special for the holidays, not much more says I love you than a beautiful roasted prime rib. Wait, how about a beautiful smoked prime rib? Wait, and with Yorkshire pudding. Back in the old country, we'd call them Yorkies. That's not true. I'm from Canada. I'm not from Great Britain, but we're making Yorkshire pudding. They're gonna be fabulous. There's gonna be a little gravy to go along with it, because having a bite of roast beef, then a beautiful little puffy Yorkshire pudding with some gravy in it and all, that's great. Max makes an excellent point. If you don't know what Yorkshire puddings are, maybe there was a picture of one in this little intro.
Yorkshire pudding is?
If you don't know what a Yorkshire pudding is, it's not pudding. It's like a popover. It's a flour, milk, and eggs that go crispy on the outside, light and the tender on the inside. They're really great, and they're the cornerstone of every British Sunday dinner. You hear the smoker or the planes? We have planes going. So let's just cut to the chase. Let me show you what we're dealing with, and we can start. This, my friends, is a 5.75 pound standing prime rib, and it's prime grade. Prime rib does not necessarily mean prime grade, could be choice. This one happens to be prime. And you'll notice that the bones are still here. Now, I think you've seen before when I've purchased one of these, the bones have been cut off and then the butcher's tied them back on. They do that because when you go to carve it, you just cut a couple strings, this comes off and it makes it much easier. I'm gonna show you how to do it because I like it for that reason, but I also like it because with these off, before you tie them back on, you can season all the way around this. More seasoning, more flavor. We put gloves on and we cut. Oh, that hits with some authority, doesn't it? To do this, you want a good knife. I just happen to have a Sam the Cooking Guy boning knife right here. By the way, available at shopstcg.com. What we want to do first is come along here and get rid of this fat. We'll save it to render down for another day's use, but today we'll just come like this. And then turn, follow the bone. That, all right. Now you can see what we're dealing with here. We're gonna make these a little prettier by cutting off this part. This is called Frenching the bone. We'll just take the meat out in between. This is an unnecessary, but you can see it's gonna end up being much prettier as we go. So finish this guy over here.
Frenching the bone is also something else.
Frenching the bone. I remember being a young man and learning my ways of the world. And when I figured out what French kissing was, wondered if that's all they did in France. If they only kissed like that. Is it me, or is French kissing the first time a bit startling? When you're not prepared for it and your partner is, what's happening here? What is going on? And then suddenly you're like, all right, I'm okay with this plan. Let's keep going. But in the beginning, geez. So how obsessive do you want to be here? How perfect do you want to make these little bones? You can make them pretty. And then if you want, I mean, there's all kinds of little extra meat you can take off, trim them up so they're super neat. It just makes prettier presentation. But again, you don't have to be doing this. So if you're okay with that, nice. So we'll take these pieces. Now we want to take the bones all the way off. So we're just gonna follow the way along right here. Come down, hug the bones all the way until they release, like that. Beautiful. I love it. Now we want to get rid of some of this extra fat, maybe down to, quarter of an inch-ish. We don't take it all off because, you know, fat means flavor. And I got to admit, I do like a bite of beautiful fat on a roast beef when I'm eating it. I've mentioned my brother-in-law, Tony, before. Everything's gone. He would take every ounce of fat off. And I think that's a mistake, Tony, but he doesn't listen to me. It's a great knife. I'm not saying that because my name is on it. Well, I suppose I am, but look, a good knife is important. If you don't have one, whether you buy ours or not, if you're gonna do stuff like this. Look, I love this little Santoku, but it is not the right knife for something like this. You want a longer, thinner blade. So when you've got off as much fat as you think you need. Okay, I'm good. Let's move this out of the way, and now we'll make the rub that's going on the outside. Bowl. Prepared horseradish, not horseradish cream, prepared horseradish. This is 4 ounces. I'm gonna use about 2.5 or 3 of this. To that, we'll add some mustard. You could use any kind you like. I'm gonna use grainy deli mustard. And hope I have, oh boy. Oh yeah, 1/4 cup should be fine. I'm gonna go with about 1 tablespoon or 2 of garlic paste, 1 tablespoon of soy paste. Yes, I love my soy paste. And some parsley chopped up. A couple tablespoons of this, and we mix. Oh shit, the smell. All right, let's get the roast beef back. There's our guy. We're gonna start by seasoning well with our BFF. We can go all the way around, and you can be fairly aggressive. Look, it's a big piece of meat. And our BFF is kosher salt, coarse ground black pepper, and granulated garlic. Nice, nice. Nail this business with your hands. Oh, can you smell this, Max? Right from here? Yeah. I'm super happy. Remember, if you didn't cut the bones off, you weren't getting any of this bottom side. But because we're so smart, we will now. I'll set that aside for a second. Get this guy here. I'll give him the benefit of a little salt on both sides. And then as Gordon Ramsay would say, just mop up the counter with this meat. Okay, I need some string. I need this out of the way. I'm gonna just not make this clean at all because it doesn't matter. Let me do 3 of these guys. So we're gonna cut our strings long enough to go all the way around our fellow, and then we're gonna put the bottom ribs back on and attach. Beautiful. We wanna tie this whole kit up nicely to help it cook evenly. And then once it does, we're gonna be able to head over to the smoker. Say goodbye to the extra string. And our final one. Beautiful. All right, I see a bolt spot. Fellas, I love our work. Let's pick this kit up, head over to the smoker. And we're there. We're at 375. Take the guy, I'll set him in right there. Beautiful. And because I don't want to guess, I'm going to put a probe in to the center. I want to be there. Down we go. And that's it. That's all the heavy lifting for this. I've set the thermometer to tell me when we're at 125 degrees. We'll take it off then, it will continue to rise another 5 or 6 degrees, and somewhere just slightly north of 130 is gonna be a beautiful medium rare. In the meantime, we'll prep the batter for our Yorkshire puddings because it needs to sit in the fridge for, you know, an hour. Here's the beginning of our Yorkshire puddings. Equal parts egg, milk, and flour. 4 eggs will go in. We beat the eggs just a little bit and then add a cup of milk. Let's go with a teaspoon of salt, and now our flour. We want to sift a cup of flour into this. So just through a strainer, a little bit at a time, like that. And then when it's all in, we mix really well. You want this super smooth. Just keep going. Lumps will not be helpful to your Yorkies coming out nicely. Beautiful. This now is going to go into the fridge. You want to give it at least an hour. You do it overnight if you wanted, that would be fine. We're going to not need it until the Yorkshire puddings go right into the oven. And I'll explain that when we get there. But that's you know, hour and a half or so from now. This goes in the fridge. Let's start a little onion gravy because why wouldn't we? These are my Raycon earbuds. I wear these every day I go to the gym. Why? The sound. Come on, I'm not gonna wear something that sounds like crap in my ears. Put them in because of this. And as if these weren't good enough, this past year they expanded their business with Raycon Power Tech. But you don't have to take my word for it. They have tens of thousands of 5-star reviews. It's regular, everyday people like you and Max. Chance is regular. Free shipping. Buy now, pay later options. And on the chance you don't like them, easy and free returns. No questions asked. And right now, Raycon is offering limited time bundles on some of their best-selling products. If this is not the time to buy, I don't know what is. And let me ask you, why am I still yelling? Somebody asked me, what's my favorite bundle?
What's your favorite bundle?
Thank you, Chance. Max is asleep back there. It's the Everyday Earbuds Kit. 3 sets of these. You want a different color? Get a different color. They're killing the competition with great audio, great prices, and this is the time to buy. So this holiday season, get premium audio and power tech at a great price. Go to buyraycon.com/STCG to get 15% off site-wide. That's the whole, site-wide means the whole site. This is a pot with a little heat underneath it. We're gonna cook some onions in that, but instead of olive oil or butter, because today's all about the beef, I'm using beef tallow. That was not very elegant. This is the first of 2 times we'll be using beef tallow. You'll see when it pops up again. So as this starts to melt, we'll add about a cup of diced yellow onion. We'll mush it around a bit. And now we want these to begin to caramelize because that's really gonna bring out the flavor, the sweetness, and make everything better. So don't rush it. You're probably looking at 7-8 minutes before it starts to get where we want to continue. Without thinking and without telling the boys to shoot it, I threw in a little bit of butter a couple minutes ago. So I'll repeat it so you can see it. That'll just help with the color a little bit, add a little richness, and make everything nice. So you got the beef tallow, you've got the butter. We're gonna give this another few minutes. I want this a little deeper in color before we start the next step. With our onions looking beautiful, we'll add about a half a tablespoon of garlic paste. Give it a mix. Goodness gracious. And when it gets super fragrant, a couple tablespoons of flour over the top and mix. Ah, look, suddenly it's the Sahara Desert. Dry, sandy. Give it a minute. Just wait, it's gonna get amazing. And now we can start adding some beef broth, little at a time. And the little at a time business is so that it doesn't get clumpy. Add it, stir. When it's smooth, add a little bit more. And of course, when you smoke, you're not really getting the benefit of dripping, so
Yeah, because you're so high.
make But let's add two things, shall we? Add about a tablespoon of Worcestershire and about a half a tablespoon of dark soy. So this thickness part is up to you, my friends. So this thickness part, if you're a super thick gravy person, then less broth. If you like it thin, then more broth. But now we need to season because we haven't yet. So we'll give it a little of our BFF and mix. Let's let Max decide how thick he wants his gravy.
That looks pretty good to me.
Is it? Okay. We're not going to get rid of our broth because as this sits, of course we don't need this yet, but as it sits, it's going to thicken up a bit, or as Guy Fieri might say, might tighten up a bit. So we'll keep the broth handy because it's going to cool. We'll want to get it back to where we want it to be if it does that. And in the meantime, let's go have a look at our prime rib, see how it's doing. And after about 40 minutes, look at, but we're only at 60 degrees, so we def have a way to go. Prime rib is close, and when it comes off the smoker, in will go the Yorkshire puddings. But first we have to heat the pan with some grease in here. So I'm gonna use about a teaspoon of this beef tallow in each one. My oven is at 475. This goes in, it gets screaming hot. We quickly take it out and then put in the batter. Hey kids, you're having fun next door. Suddenly me, Max, and Chance are like three old men over here. Hey you kids, get off my lawn. All right, 475, 15 minutes, then you see the batter part. Okay, these have been in 15 minutes. Look, they're just starting to smoke. This is great, this is great. You want this hot AF, so be very careful. Bring it out. This next part happens quick. Here's my batter, one good stir, and down we go, like this. I don't know if you can hear the sizzle about halfway. Try and be nice and neat. Now you don't want this temp to drop, which is why we're making such a concerted effort to be quick about it, because you do this the right way and you'll be rewarded with gorgeous Yorkshire puddings. And in we go. We take this back in, and there we are. Oof. And oh snap, there's our guy, looking about as pretty as you could ask for and smelling about as good as you could ask. Here's my plan. I take it off, I tent it loosely with foil, and when those Yorkshire puddings are ready, it's ready and everything comes together. I think I said if you do everything right, you'll be rewarded, and I've been rewarded. I didn't say, what I forgot to tell you was most important thing was do not open the oven. While they're cooking, do not open the oven. I don't care what happens. If there's a fire in the oven, then you can open it up. But aside from that, no. And look at them. Oh, they're gorgeous. Crispy on the outside, and they're light, on the inside, and they're HOF.
They're HOF? Oh, HAF.
Oh, HAF, they're hot as fuck. But so now a little bite of this is appropriate. Oh, you want these. But wait, remember our gravy? This is when they really shine. You get some of this beautiful onion gravy on them. Here's your heaven, man. If you've never made these, I want you to make them. You'll be so damn happy. But this was just splash. And it's 5 after 5 on a school night. Shouldn't they be in there studying or something? Eating dinner? Taking baths? But here's the thing. This is about the prime rib. It's not about this. So let's get to that. And there we are. He fell over a little bit, but he's no less beautiful. So here's what we want to do. Now we just want to take our strings off. So just snip, snip. And remember, that's what happens. The bones come off. Now when you go to carve, you're just dealing with this. And I think the right move, boys, is to just come in nice little ways and give it a good cut, shall we? The smell really is quite spectacular. That, ladies and gentlemen, we cooked it to 125 degrees and let it rest about 25 minutes. And that's what you get. What's interesting is people think a smoker is used for low and slow. And yes, I could have done this at 250 degrees, but I don't like to wait that long for some things. This was cooked at 375 and it came out perfect. You cannot complain about any part of this. Well, I suppose you could, but don't, because why would you? And one of my favorite bites is gonna be some outside and some inside.
So the whole thing?
No, at the same time. I like the outside because it's got this beautiful crust on it, the horseradish, the grainy mustard, and a bite. I could have asked for it to be any better. I could not have asked. The level of smoke is great. I use pecan on this. I find mesquite and hickory, it's too smoky for me. I don't like that. And Kelly doesn't like it either. So the pecan, the apple, some of the fruit woods, I find a little bit milder. But this horseradish on the outside, the grainy mustard, so good, so good. And oh, here, watch this move. Just get a little piece of the popover, a beautiful little slice of this. Nobody move, and some of the gravy. It's mental. It's straight mental. You can say mental, right? Happy holiday eating. This was not complicated. And if you didn't want to do it in this, and if you didn't want to do it in a smoker, you don't have a smoker, the exact same rules apply indoors. Everything the same. 375 till it hits 100 and a quarter, let it rest a half an hour, and you get that perfect medium rare. All right, that's all for me. And I'm gonna end right now because now the boys can come eat too. Thanks, you guys. Hey, hit the subscribe button if you haven't. Let us know what you want us to make in the comments below. And go to shopsdcg.com to get your stuff. This stuff.